Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. We got an emergency meeting yet. We got another situation. It's every week. It's always something over at the old Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Dove Valley over there.
Yeah.
I was just cutting video of our defense, the Broncos defense, and the very first thing I do is talk about Bouye. Now, this is before he got popped. And as you know, when we've been talking, we didn't like the pick. We never wanted the pick. We seem to be the only ones that seem to have a clue of what's going on around here. And so I'm breaking down the film. I'm showing why I don't like him. I'm showing him, why he's not very good. And that turns out that he's going to be suspended. It's another one of these illustrious picks of John Elway, and even though Fangio is going to get blamed for it, and of course Elway we know had more to do with it than probably people want to admit. But what gets me is that I'm hearing the way I found out about it was another platform, and people want to get rid of him, and they were like, "But he's one of our best," and I'm like, "Yeah, if you have garbage, there's some garbage that's better than other garbage." Are you going to keep the garbage because it's better than the other garbage? I'd get rid of the garbage, So we needed something better anyway.
Yeah.
And there is better out there. And so that's the start of this. There's a lot you want to talk about.
I want to go off of your film breakdown real quick about Drew Lock. Something that I want to bring up about Drew Lock is that I think that you're bringing up great and valid points when it comes to his one read decision making. And what I mean by that is when he breaks the huddle, he locks onto one receiver and that's it. And that's a problem that I've been seeing on the film as well. He just likes to lock on these certain receivers. I don't know if it's Elway and Pat Shurmur drilling it in his head to go to that receiver. Go vertical. And with the whole Drew Lock situation, I'm not gonna say that he's a bust, but I am getting really concerned about his progression. It just feels like he's flatlined, and he's not taking those progressive steps like he did under Rich Scangarello. That was something that you saw when he was playing under Rich Scangarello, was he was making strides week to week, and he's not doing that under Pat Shurmur. So that's very alarming.
Well, I don't think that Shurmur is a very good offensive coordinator. No. Plus, I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen with Locke, where Locke was kind of one-on-one with Shurmur. It was, or not Shurmur, I'm sorry, with the other one. With the last guy. God damn it. Scangarello, thank you. So he was one-on-one with Scangarello.
Yeah.
And he didn't have all these voices coming at him. Also, the play design isn't really, in my opinion, by Shurmur, very quarterback friendly. Way too many free runners. The play design is really bad with that. Just a lot working against him. Again, it's like you said, like Mike McCoy. Young quarterback trying to learn the McCoy.
It reminds me a lot of when Trevor Siemian was quarterback. He would get blasted, and not the fact of our offensive line sucked. It was the fact that if you go back and watch the Mike McCoy offense, I think it was like 5 or 6 games while he was here, there was a bunch of free runners. And I went back and I specifically went back to the Charger game when we went to LA, and Siemian was just getting absolutely destroyed. And
yeah, exactly. Yes. This does look a lot like the Mike McCoy situation all over again. And I don't think it's conducive for Locke to learn in.
I don't think it's conducive for any quarterback to be in.
Exactly.
They'd be quite honest.
Young. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially young.
And I want to segue into the fake news media real quick, and then I'll let you go to whatever you want to do. When it comes to the whole Drew Lock thing, and they're saying that they've been talking to players, and they're starting to get pissed off at him when they score a touchdown. He does his dance. Well, what do you want in a quarterback? You want a guy that's just stagnant, Brock Osweiler, who doesn't show any emotion on the field and tries to get his team fired up? Or
well, look, I got a question. Does everybody else get to dance but him? Everybody else is celebrating and doing whatever.
That's where I get confused, is like all you feel-good fans and the fake news media want to sit up here and say that Locke is, he's cocky, he's this. Well, when you're playing the quarterback position, you need to have a short mindset. And the one thing that I give credit to Locke for is I don't think the moment's too big for him. I just think that he's a raw quarterback. He is raw in his mechanics, and I knew that coming out of Missouri. But I said under the right coaching and under the right leadership, this kid can have so much success, like a Josh Allen in Buffalo. Just to name, a situation like that. But unfortunately, he was stuck in a situation where he has too many cooks in the kitchen. They wanted to go vertical. And the reality of the situation is people want to bash Locke because he's cocky and he likes to dance. Well, that's his personality. It just blows my mind that people talk about that.
Well, I want to say something about going vertical, the old Al Davis way. And Pat, sure, there's a video out there by the Denver Broncos when Pat Shurmur got here. It says, we're going to attack downfield. And somebody in the comment section brought up, because Drew Lock leads the 20-plus pass, we're going too vertical too much.
I agree.
And we're not really playing to Lock's strengths. First of all, the strength of the situation, the strength of the offensive line or weakness of it. Play design is, you can't have, if you want to go downtown, you can't design plays that have free runners. Again, Mike McCoy all over again. That was really astute of you, by the way, to see that. But there's a lot working against the guy, and he came in with baggage to begin with, so he doesn't need more put on his plate. That it's counterproductive.
I want to piggyback off that point real quick with the whole play design thing. The Drew Lock thing, when it comes to where he throws interceptions early, I don't think it's a product of him trying to be aggressive. I think that his coordinator isn't giving him the easy throws to start the game, because I think once he gets in the game rhythm and once he gets into that, I think that his mind is just to go vertical all the time. He doesn't look for the crossing route, which is wide open 24/7 with the Tim Patrick play at the end of the game against Kansas City, because his mind is so focused on going vertical, making the splash play. Because I believe what has happened to him, and under Rich Scangarello, just to make this point real quick, under Rich Scangarello, you could go back and see that they took shots in the game, but the one thing I loved about Rich Scangarello was he got Locke in rhythm so he could feel comfortable and have his mechanics work to the strength of what he was comfortable with. So when it comes to this, with the Pat Shurmur thing, I think they've drilled it in his head, and I think it's come from the head coach, John Elway, on down from the offensive side of the football, saying that you need to go vertical. We want to score points. We want to be like Kansas City. Now, if you watch Kansas City,
I see him. I see Kansas City. I can see him.
like Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes doesn't go vertical all the time. They set him up to go vertical. They get him comfortable in the game. They do screen routes properly. They do drag routes properly. They do hook routes properly. And that's the thing I love about Andy Reid and his offense, is because he is very quarterback friendly, and Pat Shurmur is not.
Well, see, I don't think people really understand the details to it. Why, maybe that somebody like Mahomes is having the kind of success. He's a good quarterback, but you got to give him the best chance to, no matter who it is, the best chance fits their strengths to succeed.
And plus that often. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm saying that, but that's what's lacking with Mike McCoy, or excuse me, with Shurmur.
You could say Mike McCoy.
Yeah, you get them confused. See, Yeah. So.
But with the whole piggybacking off your point about Kansas City, they've been together for a long time. They've been together for 2.5, 3 years under Patrick Mahomes. Now, before they got Patrick Mahomes, they were building up the talent so they could put in a quarterback to have success with this talent that they have on offense specifically. So under Drew Lock, you have the likes of Jerry Jeudy. Don't get me started with him because every time I watch him on a film, he's giving up on routes. He's pouting on Twitter. And so he reminds me so much of Terrell Owens, like I sent you a message before we did this. He reminds me so much of Terrell Owens. He pouts and pouts and pouts because he didn't get his catches. And I don't want that on my team.
No, you can't have that. This is where you miss Sanders. This is because remember, I don't know, we weren't in communicate. We weren't doing this when I was pounding the table about Cortland Sutton's lazy route running. And I was the only one saying it. I was putting it out on YouTube. And next thing you know, Sanders was up Cortland's ass about lazy route running. And I can see it. I know it when I see it. But we don't have, maybe Cortland Sutton's going to have to take duty. But that's, I don't know if Cortland Sutton's ready to do that. Now, Sanders is.
I think Cortland Sutton is ready to do that because of the standpoint is that he's been in a situation like that before, and he can relate to Jerry Jeudy and get on his ass. I think Cortland Sutton has been hugely missed on this offense. I think that Cortland Sutton is a top 8 receiver in my opinion. I think that he has all the talent in the world to be a Calvin Johnson clone. I think that he has that type of ability.
Well, we'll have to see how that ACL.
Yeah.
Comes back.
But the momentum of his career is going up, not down like the likes of Jerry Jeudy. I know he's a rookie. I'm calling him Jerry Duty now.
Jury duty.
Yeah, Jury Duty.
Yeah.
I see the skill set and I get why he was a first-round pick and a first-round talent. But I want to see that leadership where he came from Alabama. He came from a tradition where they're a winning organization. Now, has that affected him because he's come to a clown losing organization? Possibly, yes. I think that's affected him. I think he's hit the rookie wall. That's real. I think that there's a lot of factors, but every time I turn on the film, he runs lazy routes and he pouts on Twitter. And I don't want that on my football team.
Yeah. I caught that. Matter of fact, I think I was telling you 2 or 3 weeks ago about, hey, he's pouting and, griping. And it's like, buddy, this ain't about you. This isn't about you. You just do your job. Shut up. Just do your job and shut up. If we got to go to Fant instead of you, then we have to go to Fant instead of you. It's not about you. If we got to go to Patrick instead of you, if we got to go to a running back instead of you, shut up. Stop pounding. Do your job.
I think
there's people out there that say he needs more. He needs more. I think we need more smarter. We don't need more. We need more smarter.
We need more leadership on the offensive side of the football. I think the leadership is there on the defensive side of the football, in my opinion. Now, is there segueing into? I'm going to talk about AJ Bouye and this defense real quick, and then I'll let you finish it if you want. The whole AJ Bouye thing, I've been saying for weeks and weeks and weeks, he is a weakness on this defense. They pick on him every game. Kansas City did it.
Every team's
Pittsburgh,
done it. Every single team has done it.
Every single team. And why do they do that? Because they know that he is a Robin, not a Batman. I think that, no disrespect to women, but I think he's a Mary Jane. No disrespect to women who watch this channel, but I'm just saying.
He's a Jane to Tarzan.
Yeah, he's a Jane to, yes, exactly. I think that AJ Bouye, with how much he's getting paid, the Broncos better release him, and I do not want to see him in another Broncos uniform. I think I'm done with AJ Bouye. I didn't like the pickup.
Yeah.
And he's a liability on this defense. Now, I want to say this real quick about the whole I was listening to James Marilat today, and he said that this defense isn't a top 5 defense. And I want to count. Okay, I wouldn't say top 5 defense, the top 10 defense. And he was blaming Fangio for all the shortcomings that comes on the defensive side of the football. And I just want to tell that John Elway kiss ass, look what he's working with. I mean, he's making these players, and he's making these players into, respectable players around the National Football League, in my opinion, as backups. When it comes to the red zone defense, they're number 1 in the red zone defense. You know how reliable that is in the National Football League when you go against the likes of the Saints, the Chiefs, etc. Like, you don't have any point. Now, here's a question I would like to ask you. Would you bring back Shelby Harris on a team-friendly deal?
Yes. I want push up the middle, though. If it takes getting rid of him and Casey to get push up the middle, if I was to get rid of him and Casey for a Chris Jones type of offensive line, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, something like that, I would do that. But I want to say something about Fangio's defense. I'm uploading the video right now, but and I show it. Fangio isn't doing anything new. Fangio, what he's doing is called bend, don't break. He's doing bend, don't break, and that's why you can get the chunk yardage, and then, don't give up the end zone. Don't give up the end zone. That's what game he's playing. And he's doing it with like you said, rotational and backup type players in our book, because we know we don't have the players we asked for on both linebacking, the front line, even in the corner too.
I would even say the safeties. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, and I didn't even get a chance to break that film down against New Orleans. I didn't even get a chance to do that. Maybe I should start doing second halves instead of first halves, because it just consumes so much time. But I didn't get a chance to break down and show what the announcers were talking about, breakdowns by the safety Simmons. Yes, he was definitely missing the gap. He was blowing assignments. He was, he was not being consistent. Same with AJ Bouye, even worse with him. On film, I got him doing one great breakup play. And I just say that's wonderful, but we don't see enough of it. And I show all the clown stuff the guy's doing. So he's if anybody, if they could come and see the film I've been breaking down all year on AJ Bouye, they'd understand. They also should understand if they start saying that, oh, we got to keep him. Constantly remind them, people, that AJ Bouye is the guy each and every team picks on. Why are you keeping him? Why? Pay him all that money. What? So everybody can pick on him? I don't even think they pick on 23 as much as they do AJ Bouye.
No.
That's got to tell you something.
I think this is also what tells you, and this should wake up every feel-good fan, and even us. He is shoving down AJ Bouye. He is shoving. The Broncos are shoving AJ Bouye down our throats like they're doing with Melvin Gordon. And who do you think that's coming from? That's coming from the head coach himself, the GM.
John Elway.
Guy with multiple titles, John Elway.
John Elway, the head coach. Yeah.
And I want to tell everybody this. Why do you think they kept panning to Elway during the Chiefs game? Okay, he knew how to hit his laptop, his MacBook. I mean, seriously.
His play-by-play.
His play-by-play, like last year, you were one of the first people. You were the first person, mind you, that you literally said that he's up there in his little suite, Lil's playbook, trying to radio down. He had that radio thing in his thing. This isn't rocket science here.
If Al Davis had only had a play-by-play, I'm telling you, go vertical.
Yeah, it'd be more common than it was back in the 90s, 80s, and 70s, so on and so forth. But I also want to talk about Kareem Jackson here and Justin Simmons. I don't want Justin Simmons back. I know that people will get on my ass about that, but I don't see him as a top 5 safety.
Well, you got a problem though. You have a problem with that. You know what it is? You got to come up.
Have any depth.
Well, that's one thing. That's the secondary problem. We don't. But here's the other thing. We have to go and scour safeties coming out. Safety's coming out. We got to figure out who could possibly replace him. That's a proper GM procedure.
But I don't think safeties are, unless you have a Tyrann Mathieu, Steve Atwater back then, a Cam Chancellor, Troy Polamalu.
Yeah, the guy with the hair.
The guy who doesn't get the respect that he deserves.
Well, he does have a hair commercial.
He does, but I don't think safeties, unless you find a very, very special safety, I don't think they're that vital to a defense. I think that it's more the front seven than the back end, in my opinion. I always preach that to feel good fans. So Kareem Jackson.
Well, yes, and I can attest to being a corner. I can attest that when you have 4 horsemen up there, what we used to call our 4 guys up there, the 4 horsemen. When you got stellar, Pittsburgh Steeler, up, that top of echelon, 4 guys up there, it makes everybody's job a whole lot easier.
Why do you think the Broncos had so much success in 2015? Because they got pass rush up the middle. They got pass rush with Malik Jackson and Derek Wolfe, and it made the quarterbacks go Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Shaquille Barrett, Shane Ray. And you had Danny Trevathan, who also helped in that equation too. But you had depth that you can rotate those players out, and you still had decent enough good level players to make a pass rush up the middle. That's why I didn't like losing Malik Jackson. I would have been okay letting Derek Wolfe go.
Well, I think the reason Wade Phillips John Elway got rid of Phillips because Phillips wanted player personnel control on defense. Elway wasn't going to have anything to do with that.
Because he wanted to have control of the whole team.
Yeah.
All aspects of the team. Going back to Kareem Jackson real quick, and I'll let you finish up. Kareem Jackson, I've been saying this for about half a year now. I would be fine letting him go because I don't find him valuable at all. I think that he misses tackles on a daily basis. His angles when he tries to tackle. You go back and watch the game on Sunday night. The angles that he was taking were some of the worst angles I've ever seen somebody try to tackle with.
I've seen that. I got him on film in the Pittsburgh game. There was one of the very last plays. Pittsburgh ran the ball the way down to the 5 or something like that from their own.
It was 30. A 60-yard run.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yep.
That was all on Jackson and his bad angles.
But people are comparing him to T.J. Ward. Really? At least T.J. Ward knew how to tackle and knew how to take right angles when he was playing. And Wade Phillips knew how to utilize him properly. I said I will continue to stand by this to this day. For them to release T.J. Ward, that was the downfall of that defense. When they released that dog, T.J. Ward, like Aqib Talib was talking about, I said that was the worst move John Elway could have made because it broke off the whole entire conglomerate of that defense that they still had left.
Well, I think Vic Fangio coming in because the defense was progressively it was nosediving. And I think, everybody kept saying, it's the best. And I'm like, it's getting worse each year. Fangio, I think, came in and stopped that downward trend. But that's the only thing holding the Denver Broncos to even a remote speck of respectability is Fangio's defensive mind is red zone defense basically is the big thing, keeping teams down, keeping their score down. I mean, I don't think anybody kept the Chiefs that far down in points all year.
Since last year.
Fangio?
Since the Colts beat them last year.
Oh, Colts. I see the Colts.
And look at how good the Colts are doing because they knew how to build a team properly. But
they did. They did. That's a whole nother thing of conversation you could have. You could have that a whole video comparing
exactly.
like the Colts and Broncos and how to build the. Yeah. Yes. And the old Raiders too. 90s. They have to throw them in.
Exactly. I'm to finish up my points of view here. When it comes to the Denver Broncos, and I've been saying this for 5 years now, it's a news article every single week. And the fake news media and an STR likes to cover it up, and they like to talk about Drew Lock and Vic Fangio like me, like you were the first person on this channel to say they would start with Fangio and then they go into Lock. How Orlando Franklin and Sandy Clough have it out for Drew Lock because God knows why. I don't understand why we can't give Drew Lock one more year under normal circumstances.
Orlando Franklin is the serial killer. He invites them into the house, and then he takes a dagger into their heart. So
exactly,
this is how it's going to work. John Elway is not going to get rid of Locke. It's ego. No. He picked him. Elway's on the clock, and people were giving me, or one person gave me a hard time. He isn't going anywhere. Well, he is. Yeah, he's not tomorrow, but his contract is up. After next year, his contract is up. Correct.
That door is on the horizon.
That door is on the horizon. So, free at last, maybe. And then wrap this up with Elway's horrible picks. Melvin Gordon is also going to be suspended as well. So we have 2 suspended players. We got one guy. We got just the recent grab bag of bad players. We got a guy sitting in with the offensive lineman in the hot tub, Terrell Casey. Just wasn't. And then I hear STR say, "Well, let's not pick any more free agents. Let's not do." Why? Because the guy picking them is so bad at it. We should just totally throw out the baby with the bathwater. So, yeah, they can't address anything. We gave Jordan Phillips, we gave all kinds of, we gave the people we needed in here, and they were available. But again, we've asked ourselves, do they actually want to come to this organization? No. I think that's something a lot of Bronco fans can't handle, and I'm not sure if my new subscribers that I got are going to be ready for what we're going to put out. It isn't the feel good crap. This is a completely different Bronco channel than what you've been used to. Because we're going to tell it the way it is, the way we see it anyway. But just one more second. I did have a commenter say, I'm seeing the same thing you guys are talking about. I thought I was all alone because nobody will talk about this stuff. I said, no. You're not alone, but that's why we have this channel, because these are the things that need to be talked about and discussed.
And the reason why we have that channel, thanks to you, is because that we don't put no bullshit on your front door. We don't have sponsors. We don't, have ad breaks and all that. We come with you with the straight facts, and the facts are this team is a clown show. This team is one of the bottom 3 teams in the NFL. They will never be. They will never have the success that they used to under the leadership of John Elway. And all the people that want to fire Vic Fangio, just wait. And if you fire Vic Fangio, just look how bad this team will be. The worst team the worst NFL franchise in the National Football League, worse than the New York Jets.
But that's okay. We'll get this quarterback. We'll get the number 1 quarterback. It'll save the day. I could just see the new subscribers going. No, they can't be talking about this. We do talk about this. It has to be said.
Well, yes, everything that we've said about ownership is coming to full light here. When it comes to Beth Bowen-Wallace calling out the trust and calling out the guy himself, Elway, because he's had too much control, and John Elway's ass will be spanked out of the front back door in 2022, and he will never come back, and I never want him back apart. I don't want him having any I don't want John. I will be fine with John Elway, having some sort of lower position role, maybe as, Mike Shanahan What I mean by that is he can visit every once in a while, but not have any position. That is what I mean by that. I'm not saying that he needs to hold any title. I'm saying that he can still be a part of this organization. He could still show up and make your presence felt. Because to be honest, he's one of the best players to put on a Broncos uniform as a player. We can't disrespect him in that light.
Players don't put on three-piece suits, so it's just the way I'm wired. It's like, I don't care to get to know you. I don't care. Just what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? That's cold and callous. Yeah, I know. What have you done for me lately? Quarterback, great stuff. We all love seeing you hold up the trophy. That's great. In a three-piece suit, I got to get you out the door because, like Beth Bowlen said, coming from the most unlikely places, somebody actually sees reality, says, you're taking my father's franchise and you're turning it into garbage. And I don't think he's meaning to do it. I don't think he came here I'm going to just trash it. I don't believe that's what he did. He's just not well suited for the job. That's all I'm just getting at. It's not a hate. It's not a like. It's just, you can't do the job.
His ego was too big for him.
The ego planted.
The ego is too big for what as a GM you need. You need a GM that knows what he's doing in the player personnel department, and you need to have ownership at the top that holds people accountable, because I still believe to this day, if Pat Bowlen was still actively aware of what was going on and he was still the owner, John Elway would have been gone 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Just the reality of the situation.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Especially with like Jawan James and who was the other guy? I can't even think of from the Raiders that they got.
Menelik Watson.
Menelik. I mean, we're still doing that to this day. And don't tell me it's Fangio, because Fangio didn't pick Menelik Watson. I mean, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. That's the thread that's the same, is Elway.
And this will be the last thing I say. There wouldn't be this many DUIs and suspensions under Pat Bowlen's leadership. There would be none. It'd be very rare to see a player make a stupid act under Pat Bowlen's leadership. You rarely heard of it. You rarely spoke of it, because everybody, even players, coaches, media, had the utmost respect for Pat Bowlen.
Yeah, well, he would tell them when they get here, there's a certain code we have here, and then you violate that code, we got to let you go. It's kind of like Kraft, too, because the Patriots, they don't have that kind of issue.
Yep.
Steelers, I'm not sure. Kansas City, not as much as they had a while, used to be. So, yeah.
Because they have leadership. They have true leadership.
Yeah. So, 2022, I hate to tell you, but I think that's the target date. Probably this team will look completely different in 2023, 2024, moving forward. Probably won't even look the same.
And let's hope it's a good look. Let's hope it's a good direction, not a Dan Snyder direction, not a Woody
Snyder
Johnson.
2.0. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I'm worried about. I don't want the trust to find an owner.
No, I don't want that either.
And I'm not sure. That's the part I'm not sure about. I mean, if they can't pick a right tackle, how do you expect them? You think they're really going to pick an owner?
No.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got.
That's all I have too.
All right. Take care.
You take care. Yep. Talk to you later.
Take care.